Leo and the Secret of the Winter Garden, the Melting Visitor. Once upon a time, in a little town that looked as if it was covered by a giant white duvet, lived a little boy named Leo. In this town, the trees looked like sticks of white candy floss, and the rooftops sparkled like silver. Leo loved winter. But most of all, he loved the sound snow made. When the snowflakes fell to the ground, they whispered, "Shush, the world is sleeping." One morning, Leo woke up, looked out of his bedroom window, and couldn't believe his eyes. Something magical had happened overnight. Everywhere, absolutely everywhere, was brilliant white. The garden fence had disappeared, and his dad's car had turned into a giant snowball. Leo jumped out of bed with excitement. Zip! On went his warm woolly socks. Snap! On went his thick winter coat. Crunch! On went his shiny red boots, and he ran out into the garden. The snow was so deep that when Leo walked, his feet made funny noises, crunch, scrunch, squelch, squeak. "I am going to make today the best day ever," Leo said to himself. "I will build the most magnificent snowman in the world." He started to work. First, he made a small snowball. He rolled it and rolled it. The ball grew bigger and bigger until it was a giant wheel. This was the snowman's tummy. Then, he rolled a medium-sized ball. Roll, roll, pat. This became his chest. Finally, he placed a smaller ball on top for the head. Now for the fun part, decoration. He borrowed a pointy, orange carrot from the kitchen and stuck it right in the middle of the face. Pop! That was his nose. He took 2 shiny black buttons from his mum's sewing box and made the eyes. Now the snowman could see. He wrapped his dad Oliver's old checked scarf around its neck and put his own blue bobble hat on its head. Leo stepped back to look at his creation. The snowman seemed to be smiling at him. "Hello," said Leo. "Your name shall be Mr. Frosty. You are my best winter friend." Leo played with Mr. Frosty all day long. He taught him how to throw snowballs. Though Mr. Frosty wasn't very good at catching, he told him fairy tales, and they even played hide and seek. It was very easy to find Mr. Frosty because he always stood in the same spot, but Leo had fun anyway. When evening came, the weather began to change. The sun hid behind the mountains like a sleepy orange. The wind started to blow, woo. It got very, very cold. The tip of Leo's nose turned bright red. His mum, Sophia, called from the door, "Leo! Time to come inside. Hot soup is ready." Leo looked at Mr. Frosty. He was standing all alone in the middle of the garden, in the dark. His scarf was flapping in the wind. "Goodbye, Mr. Frosty." "See you tomorrow," Leo said sadly, and went inside. Inside the house, it was lovely and warm. The fire in the fireplace was crackling, crackle pop. As Leo drank his hot soup, he couldn't stop thinking about outside. He went to the window and pressed his nose against the glass. It was pitch black outside, and Mr. Frosty was there, all alone in the freezing cold. Leo's heart felt heavy. What if he gets cold, he thought. I have my blanket here, I have my soup. But he has nothing. He is so lonely and so cold. That night, Leo got into bed, but he couldn't sleep. The sound of the wind sounded like Mr. Frosty whispering for help. He made a decision. He couldn't leave his best friend out there. After everyone had gone to sleep, Leo crept out of bed. He walked on his tiptoes. Tiptoe, tiptoe. He opened the back door. Creak. Outside, it was freezing. Leo ran to Mr. Frosty. "Don't worry, friend," he whispered. "I am going to save you. I will take you inside, where it is warm." But Mr. Frosty was very heavy. Leo pushed him, pulled him, tried to hug him. Heave. Ho. Finally, he decided to bring Mr. Frosty inside piece by piece. First the head, then the body. After a big struggle, Mr. Frosty was standing on the soft rug in the middle of the lounge. He was right in front of the warm fireplace. Leo smiled proudly. "There. Now you are safe. It is nice and cozy here." Exhausted, Leo curled up on the armchair watching his friend, and fell asleep. Some time later, Leo woke up to a strange sound. Drip. 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 What was that? Was a tap left running? Leo rubbed his eyes and looked at Mr. Frosty. Something was wrong. Mr. Frosty looked a bit wonky. His blue bobble hat had slipped down. And worst of all, his carrot nose was drooping sadly towards the floor. Drip. Drip. Splosh. Water was dripping from Mr. Frosty's tummy onto the rug. Leo panicked. "Mr. Frosty, what is happening to you? Are you crying?" He ran and hugged the snowman. But when he hugged him, Leo's pajamas got soaking wet, and Mr. Frosty's shoulder came away in Leo's hand. The snowman had become soft, just like a wet sponge. Leo didn't know what to do. Maybe he is still cold, he thought with his kind heart. He ran to his room, grabbed his thickest, fluffiest blanket, and wrapped it around Mr. Frosty. "Don't worry, this will warm you up," he said. But the blanket was heavy, and it made Mr. Frosty lean over even more. One of his black button eyes fell off. Plink, and rolled across the floor. The rug was turning into a lake. Leo was about to cry. He wanted to do a good deed, but his friend was disappearing right in front of his eyes. Just then, the lounge light turned on. His mum, Sophia, and his dad, Oliver, stood at the door with sleepy eyes. "Leo," said his dad, surprised. "Why is there wait, is that a snowman in the lounge?" His mum looked at the puddle on the floor and the leaning, blanket-wrapped Mr. Frosty. Leo sobbed, "Daddy! Mummy! Mr. Frosty got sick. I brought him inside because it was so cold outside. I wanted him to get warm, but he is melting. His button fell off." His mum, Sophia, came over and hugged Leo tightly. "Oh, my sweet, kind-hearted boy," she said softly. His dad, Oliver, sat down beside them. "Leo, you have a very big heart. I am proud of you for thinking of your friend. But can I tell you a secret?" Leo sniffed. "What is it?" His dad smiled gently. "Snowmen are magical creatures of winter." "What is warm farce is not good for them at all. They love the cold. The cold keeps them strong and happy. The heat of the fire, the warmth of the blanket, these things break their magic. Leo's eyes went wide. So, when I tried to warm him up, I actually hurt him. You didn't do it on purpose, darling, said his mum. You just didn't know. But now you do. A snowman's home is the garden. Leo looked sadly at his friend, who was turning into a puddle of water. Can we save him? Dad stood up. It is not too late. Come on, let's start a rescue operation. They all got to work. Dad carried the big chunks of the snowman. Mum picked up the button and the carrot. Leo grabbed the blue bobble hat. Quickly, they ran out into the cold garden. Dad put Mr. Frosty back in his spot. But Mr. Frosty was much smaller now. Don't worry, said Dad. There is fresh snow in the garden. We will give him a snow transplant. Leo and his parents scooped up handfuls of fresh, cold snow and packed it onto Mr. Frosty's melting bits. They made him fat again, they fixed his shape. They put his button eyes back and straightened his nose. As soon as the cold air touched him, Mr. Frosty became hard and stood up tall again. Leo put the blue bobble hat back on his friend's head. Under the moonlight, the snowman sparkled happily once more. I am sorry, Mr. Frosty, said Leo. I tried to love you in the wrong place. Your home is here, in the cold garden. That night, when Leo got back into his warm bed, his heart felt peaceful. He looked out of his window. Mr. Frosty was there, in the cold, standing tall and happy. Leo learned a lesson that night. Sometimes, loving someone doesn't mean pulling them close to you, it means letting them be where they are happiest. Snowmen love the cold, and children love their warm beds. And Leo snuggled into his duvet and fell fast asleep. The end.